Hi, I am Paolo Perego from Politecnico di Milano, and I'm here to present my work on an integrated design method and usability outcome of a mobile application for psychological well-being during pregnancy. A new method based on a mobile application to counterfight perinatal depression. This work is one of the results of a big regional project in Lombardy, Italy, guided by the ASST Lecco Health Service. The last decade has seen a radical change in the use of technologies. Mobile computer is the main technology of this decade. More and more often, we are dealing with portable tools and portable devices. Medical instrumentation such as portable and connected electrocardiographs, pulse oximeters, is widespread especially due to COVID-19 pandemic situation in the last 2 years. However, mental health care is a critical domain which however is often unexplored, especially in terms of human factor and ergonomics. Few studies analyze the ergonomics factor and usability of a mobile application in the mental health field. Perinatal depression is a mood disorder that can affect women during pregnancy and after childbirth. The word perinatal refers to the time before and after the birth of a child. Perinatal depression includes depression that begins during pregnancy, called prenatal depression, and depression that begins after the baby is born, called postpartum depression. Mothers with perinatal depression experience feelings of extreme sadness, anxiety, and fatigue that may make it difficult for them to carry out daily tasks, including caring for themselves or others. It is often related to baby blues, which is different and consists in previous stage. The baby blues is a term used to describe mild mood changes and feeling of worry, unhappiness, and exhaustion that many women sometimes experience the first 2 weeks after having a baby. Babies require around-the-clock care, so it's normal for mothers to feel tired and overwhelmed sometimes. If mood change and feeling of anxiety or unhappiness are severe, or if they last longer than 2 weeks, a woman may have postpartum depression. Women with postpartum depression generally will not feel better unless they receive treatment. Italy has about 60 million inhabitants and more than 430,000 live births per year. If we take into consideration the Lombardy region, about 80,000 births occur in a year. It is realistic to think that about 9,000 women suffer from perinatal depression, and that only a minority of these are diagnosed today and receive treatment, about 9% of the total. The situation has only worsened in the specific moment of COVID-19 pandemic. The worsening occurs on 2 different fronts. The lockdown measures emphasize the isolation from family and friends of some women and mothers, while security measures decrease the opportunity to meet operators, reducing to the strictly essential and therefore decreasing access to psychological or pharmaceutical diagnosis and treatment. These data underline the importance of screening, which is often underestimated and often left marginal to medical care. mHealth could be an interesting solution to improve punctual and continuous monitoring to mothers and future mothers. It is a rapid and remote touchpoint with healthcare professionals to communicate feelings and moods. Recent studies indeed suggest that the potential for mHealth tools to improve access to step mental health care for women with either perinatal depression or anxiety is now beginning to be realized. This framework led to the idea to design and develop new 2 digital tools with a public health service, with the aim of promptly intercept cases of perinatal depression and offering a first treatment and intervention. This work describes the design, development, and testing of the Bluebelly applications used for Edinburgh Scale administration and Hooley administration and their data analysis. EPDS, the Edinburgh Scales, and the Hooley question are the most used questionnaire for gathering information regarding the risk of perinatal depression. The Bluebelly project is divided into 3 parts. The first one, the website, where all the most important information approved by Istituto Superiore di Sanità in Italy are collected. Mothers and pregnant women can access the website to search information regarding pregnancy, breastfeeding, anxiety, and also baby blues. We also create a section for COVID-19 during pregnancy. The second one is the mobile app that was developed for administering the Edinburgh Scale and the Holy Questions. The third one is the web app, only for medical staff, for checking the result of the collected EPDS and automatically generate alert when data are outside the threshold. The project itself is divided into 5 different steps. From the first project research and analysis, user analysis by means of focus group, the real system development, and the quantitative analysis and user tests at the end to validate the final outcome and refine it, as specifically suggested by the design thinking methodology. The first phase is research. The project starts with the analysis of the possible users, defining who are the direct and indirect users. Main user, direct users, correspond to people that use directly the system. They can be pregnant women and new mothers, or healthcare professionals that need to administrate the EPDS. Moreover, there are secondary users, people that come into contact with the system, but without using it directly. An example is a new dad, searching for information about feeding time who accesses the website. The definition of main and secondary users allow for defining the features of the system from different points of view. After this, it was possible to design the first mock-up and prototype using ad hoc software. We start with paper sketch, and then implement a wireframe and a prototype by means of Figma software, in order to be tested directly with real users during the focus group. The paper sketch has been used inside the laboratory to define and talk with all the stakeholders, while the prototype, based on Figma prototype, it is used with real users. The prototype is used both for explaining better the idea of the project and to receive first feedback to be used for refining the project and start the development phase. We create firstly mockup to explain ideas to the stakeholders and then prototypes to be used with the user during the focus group. The focus group are the main part of our project. They are mandatory to understand the features required by the user. They allow to gather important information directly from all the stakeholders and users of the system. The Blue Belly project, as mentioned before, is a regional project that involves different hospitals in different locations of Lombardy. For this reason, we organized 3 different focus groups in 3 different hospitals, inviting different users to collaborate. For example, mother, pregnant women, physician, psychologist, and midwives. This allows us to extract opinion and feeling directly from every possible future user. With the hints and suggestions from focus group, we started the development phase. All the development phase is guided by the suggestion and by the prototype developed in the first part. Mobile app and web app have been developed using Flutter technology, so to obtain, with the same code, an app for Android and also iPhone. We used Firebase as a scalable cloud platform and an NoSQL database for storing anonymized data. Only medical approved staff can de-anonymize data in order to intervene in case of necessity, calling or visiting the user. The apps have a clear UI and were developed in Italian and English language, but can be easily implemented other different languages. The app has the main purpose to collect EPDS and a Holy Question, the most used value to define perinatal depression risks. The app sends push notification when it is necessary to complete a new EPDS. The web app receives all the data and underlines difficult case with high EPDS using a color scheme so that medical approved staff can intervene. Before testing and using the app with user inside the hospital or at home, we test it with software. We used two different software, a VAS software and a task analysis software. We used VAS software in order to understand UI error and how much the various screens of the app are clear or not. Then we use maze.co to create a task analysis and test with real user found online directly by the software house of maze.co. The tasks that were analyzed are the signing in and the EPDS administration. All the tests require the Figma prototype and use maze.co to administer the test to the real user. The user has been selected by maze.co based on features required by the authors, for example, women, age, possible pregnant, and with child. The users has been automatically selected by a plethora of users inside maze.co and follow all the line requested by the actors. The sign-in were tested in order to find out which is clearer between normal sign-in and conversational sign-in. The second one simulated a chat and guide the user during the first use of the app. The EPDS and URI administration has been tested to measure the average time to complete the entire test. This timing is necessary so that we can study the best method to minimize it, so as not to lead the user to abandon the test because it is too long. From the PDS administration task, the Screen Usability Score has been computed. Screen Usability Score stands for SCUS. The score, reported by maze.co, reflects how easy it is for a user to perform a given task, a mission, with the prototype. A high usability score indicates the design will be easy to use and intuitive. This score goes from 0 to 100, and usability points are lost when a user makes a misclick, giving up with the task or spend too much time on the same screen. Obviously, the score is related on how much text is in question, in order to give the time to the user to read it. The question does not influence the score. We test the EPDS obtaining an average score of 84 on 100, which is a very good score. Based on the SCUS and its analysis, on the result of the VAS software and on the focus group, we try to improve general user experience of the application. We implemented in the mobile app, as requested by the user, a new section with link to the FAQ on the website, info for following the status of the pregnancy, and a new UI. We retest everything both with software and users, and we see a short improvement in some screen, as shown in the figure for the main screen. The app is now used in some hospitals in Lombardy region, and we already collect more than 500 users and more than 1000 EPDS. During the use, a new need emerged, but thanks to the reliability of the code, we are able to insert it rapidly. In the meantime, the app continuously collects timing data, errors, and crashes, with the aim to check stability and improve quality. Medical staff access data by means of web app. They can see only data of their patient and by means of color, immediately check their status. In conclusion, thanks to the UCD approach, based on the involvement of all the stakeholders from the first step of the project, the system is very stable and we see an high increase of users in the last 6 months. The number of errors and crashes are minimal and depend mainly on OS update. The SCUS index remains stable and around 80, also after some other modifications to insert new features requested by the users during the use of the application. This shows high usability despite the difference between devices used to run the application. Thanks for your attention. I'm hoping to reply to your question. Please write me an email on the address that you can see now on the screen. Thanks.